Functions are the most important thing in standard ML, and we start by defining a very simple function, which is the identity function. Okay. Let's start by defining an identity function. So fun, that is a keyword. Just like val, you write the keyword fun, and then you say the name of the function. In this case, identity. Okay. And then argument x. So what does this function on the argument x give you? It should give itself. Okay. So this is your identity function, and the result is this function called identity. Okay. So let's just try evaluating this, for example, on z equal to ident of 10, for example. Okay. So this is yes, z is 10 itself, because identity function gives the same value as its argument. Let's call hello. Let's run this as well. You see, hello is just the string hello itself. So what is interesting about this identity function is that it doesn't seem to be checking its type, right? Something seems to be wrong. In the last lecture, we talked a lot about strong typing and why it is important and all kinds of things, but it looks like identity doesn't seem to be checking type, because its returns type depends on what you give to it. But here is the important thing. So identity is an example of a polymorphic function. Okay. So here the point to be noted is identity is a polymorphic function. Okay. So let's write it down here. Okay. It is shown in this type. So look at the type of identity. It doesn't say int to int. Okay. So first of all, in standard ML, the type of functions from A to B is written as A arrow B. Okay. The arrow you write by putting a minus sign and a greater than sign. Okay. So you should read this as A arrow B. Okay. A function. This is the type of all functions from A to B. Okay. So here identity is a function which is from quote of A to quote of A. What is this quote of A? So this quote A is a type variable. Okay. So what it says is that identity, whatever it is polymorphic in this type. So in the sense that it doesn't matter which type A is, quote A is. So if you give it an argument of type int, it will return a type result of type int. Okay. So its type is quote A to A. Okay. Quote A to quote A. Okay. And A is a type variable, and that is the reason why identity is able to, you can apply identity on 10. Okay. You can apply identity on hello. You can apply it on whatever type you want. Okay. You can apply it on list of integers. Yeah, it will give you the same value. Okay. It is polymorphic in that sense. Yeah, you see. Yeah, foo is 1 2 3 itself, and its type is list of int. Okay. Why is that? Why is it an int list? Because you gave it an input which is int list, and that is the reason why it is an int list. The result is also an int list. Okay. So identity is polymorphic function. Suppose we want to kind of restrict this to int, so you can explicitly say the type. So id int, let me write it this way. I say x is of type int and it returns x. Okay. So if I compile this, you will see id int is of type int arrow int. But now if I try to do something like val hello equal to id int of hello, then what happens? You will get a type error. Okay. So you see this type error. Okay. Operator domain is int, operator is string, operand is string, in expression whatever. don't bother about these line numbers because these are line numbers in your interpreter, but what the problematic thing is here. Okay, so if you didn't, the point here is if you didn't restrict the type, okay, if you don't give any restriction, it will try to figure out whether there is some generic type that you can give for int. Okay, and when you call it with a value, that quote A gets instantiated. Okay, so identity in that sense is a polymorphic function. So let's put this back to int. Okay, and it's a polymorphic function. And the second thing is that SML takes care of inferring the types of arguments and result. And what is interesting is that it infers the most general type possible. Okay. Okay. It infers the most general type possible. In the definition of ID, there is nothing here which restricts whatever be the type of X, you could return the same value. Okay. Instead, if I write something like this, now you see increment has type int to int. Why did it become int to int and not quote A to quote A? Because I have written here that it is x plus 1, and you can do plus 1 only on if x is an integer. So from this point it infers that x has to be an integer, and hence increment should be a function which takes int to int. Okay. So how does this work out? How do we write? We have only single argument function. Is there a way to write multi-argument functions? It would be a serious limitation if your functions can only take one argument. It turns out that because of the nature of the types that are there in SML, there are two ways to approach multi-argument functions and two arguments function. The three argument function is singular. One is the curried form, and the other is the uncurried form. Okay, so I recall at this point that if A and B are types, then A arrow B denotes the type of all functions from A to B. Okay. So in the curried form, what you do is the following. Okay. So let's take an example. Okay, so this is an example of a function. Let's see what its type looks like. Okay, so we find that the type of add is int arrow int arrow int. Okay, but really speaking, there is only one argument because this should be read as this. Okay, so at this point, let's also say associate of arrow. It associates right. Okay, which means that if I have something like A arrow B arrow C, this is same as A arrow B arrow C. Okay. Okay. So in that sense, add is not a two argument function. So let me write it this in English. Add takes a single argument x and returns a function that takes a single y and returns x plus y. To see why this is possible, recall that we can do something like this. This is because, remember, add has domain as int and range as int argument. So add1 has the type of the range, which is function from int to int. And what does increment do? It takes an argument y and takes 1 plus y and gives 1 plus y. So this is actually the increment function. Okay. So that's one way in which you can do two argument functions, and similarly multi-argument functions. The other way to do two argument function really is very simple. Okay, let's try the definition, which looks more like a C definition. Add x comma y equal to x plus y. Okay. This looks very much like how you would have defined it Python or C or something, except that you don't have to give any types. So this is also a single argument function. This is not a two argument function. Let's see that. So now it is add stack. It is int star int to int. So at this point, just recall a star b is the Cartesian product tags a and b. Okay. Elements a star b are pairs of b such that a may and okay. So just to see that example, let's say val z equal to 1 comma 2. Okay, let's just compile this. See, z is of type int star both. The first component is int, second component is both. Okay, they also have triples. U equal to 1.01 and hello. Yeah. Okay, so this is another way in which you can think about two argument functions. This is called the uncurried version of add. Okay. What is interesting is that you can write higher order functions to convert between these two things. Okay, so conversion, and that's a good illustration of the power of function programming. Conversion. Okay, so let's just see that. So we want to write curry. Okay. So what should curry's type be? It should take an uncurried version. We really do not care what these types A and B and C are. Okay, as long as it's of this form. This is the uncurried variant and produce the curried variant. So how does that look like? So curry of f. So f is of type A star B to C. If this you apply on x and y, you should give f of x power y. And similarly uncurry and you can see that types match.